Okay, so I'm going to start doing these videos where if I've got an add-on or any of my own design, I'm going to tell you where I got the idea from. So basically, if I take the add-on off, I was just I was bored, so I decided to try something new, and this is what came out at first. After I made this, I thought of 1,000 ideas that failed completely of making nests, but I came up with a pretty good idea for a novelty bowl. I might show you that. I'll show you that if I remember it. But yeah, and then I realised that there was this. I realised that there was like a slot thing here, and well, it intrigued me because I realised that that's just wasted space. You know, you could easily put something there, which got me to the idea of something helping it stand better, because I kept on knocking it and making it fall over, because if you knock it a little bit it doesn't, but if you knock at the bottom, if you knock at the top, it goes down quite easily. So I came up with the concept of a nest, and that really didn't work at all, because it just kept on being like a thing that was really tightly in. These birds kept on getting crushed, so I just thought, no, this isn't going to work. Then I thought, well, maybe I could just put something to help it stand. So I got a piece of paper and started to do all these folds where I fold it in half, and then fold it back on itself a little bit, lot, so that there was only a little bit left staying, just like that. So it's a bit like that, and then I'd cut it down to size if necessary, and then I'd just put it up like that, and that'd help it to stand. And it worked. It helped it to stand a lot, but as you can see, it shifts a lot. And also, if you're using it for ornamental or something, you really don't want that this big thing here spoiling it. So I thought, nope, that's not working. So I thought of cutting it down. So I cut along there, cut along here like this, and then I cut along like that. So there was only a bit showing, so that it would only show a little bit on the inside where it didn't matter. But then I realised, wait, if it's too small, it's not really going to do much. So I tested it, and it did just fly off, just like that. So I thought, that's not working. And then I realised that as well as there being a slot at the bottom here, there's also a slot at the top on this bit. So I thought, if I used that so that this slot came like that, then I could make it so that this slot was here and this slot was down here. And so I thought of something to do with like the nests. I thought maybe there could be like a top and a bottom, so that it for storage or something. That really didn't work, and I won't go through the amount of ideas. And then eventually I realised that if I make a little one, then it'll be just as good, because it has that bit there, and then So I thought, right, I might have to change the design a bit, because I didn't realise I really didn't have to change the design at all. So I thought of making these bits different. I thought of changing their heads, and every single time it failed. So I thought, well, what the heck? So I made another one like this, and so I put it over, and it fitted perfectly. So I thought, that looks a bit boring, because and weird, because it had these bits sticking out. So then I thought, I'll just make those into heads. So I thought, like that, and like that, just like that, and then make them into heads. Like this. But they were a bit too small, which is why I said it wasn't really a good idea, because look, that's way too small. So then I thought, No. And then I realised that as they were up, when they were up, it was a lot. It just wasn't coming off, no matter how much I shook it. So I thought, right, I'll get rid of the heads, just flatten them out, and just put them up. So I did that, reinforced the fold, and there you go. The finishing design. It was a lot harder to knock it off, knock it over. So I came up with the stand, and a bonus, I added 2 more little birds, like that. So, you know, it was a win-win situation, and it was there staring me in the face the whole time. So, that's the story behind it. It's a pretty ridiculous one, but there you go. So, there. And I was just laughing at myself for ages. So, there's my first explanation. See ya.